I was just looking at some of the Indian stats the other day, and I looked at some of these guys, and I felt like they were bringing in some of these kind of folks to try to play the outfield for a while. It's amazing when you look at this. I like his eyeballs in here. The Indians have been through 9 different outfielders this year. 9. Right now, they have not 1, not 2, but 3 #1 draft choices, outfielders, on the disabled list. That's Lonnie Chisenhall, the eternal calf muscle problem that he's had for the last 2 years. Tyler Naquin, hip surgery, out for the year. Brad Zimmer, shoulder surgery, out for the year. And we all knew at the start of the season that the guy who would play the most games in the outfield for the Indians, of course, we all knew would be Michael Brantley. I mean, of course, that's being sarcastic, but the point being, there's Brantley's been the healthiest, most consistent outfielder after the last 2 years dealing with, he had ankle surgery and arm surgery and shoulder surgery in the previous 2 years, 3 operations. I mean, thank goodness Bradley has been so consistent and reliable, and he still is. It's just been incredible. They trade for Leonys Martin, pretty solid center fielder from the Tigers. Hits a couple home runs in his first few games and then comes down with this strange unnamed illness because it's not a baseball-related injury. He ends up in Cleveland Clinic. They're not sure when he's coming back. Another guy on the disabled list where it looked like they just solved center field. I mean, the remarkable thing to me is we're talking about like the Indians are rolling out outfielders like Melky Cabrera, who was basically, kind of one of these guys. But what I mean is sort of taken off a baseball rummage sale. He had no job late in spring, through spring training and early in the season. Nobody had signed him. The Indians signed him, brought him up. Then when a couple outfielders got healthy, they cut him. Then they brought him back, and he's been playing some there. Rajay Davis, another guy they picked up on. He was cut by Oakland. Nobody offered him a contract right before spring training. He signed a minor league contract, came back to the Indians. He was at the Indians in 2016. Right now you have Greg Allen, a young outfielder playing center field. Brandon Guyer. The Indians also traded for another outfielder. His name is Orlando Mercado. They got him from the Cardinals. He was hitting like .290 for the Cardinals AAA team, Memphis. Well, I just kind of checked to see what he was doing for the Indians AAA team. He was 5 for 32 right now in Columbus. That doesn't mean write him off, but I got some fans saying, well, why don't they bring up Orlando Mercado? Maybe they will out of desperation anyway. He's fast to play some center field, but you would like to see him off to a faster start with the Tribe AAA team than he is right now. I look at this. So right now I got 5 names for the outfield. Greg Allen, Michael Brantley, Rajay Davis, Melky Cabrera, Brandon Guyer. And given all that, by the way, it's kind of amazing the Indians have actually played as well as they have, because that's a big problem out there. It also is something I'm not sure how it's going to sort out for the playoffs. In another area, and I will give the front office tremendous credit on this one, and that is that they fixed the bullpen in the middle of the season. Not easy to do. Bringing in Brad Hand, Adam Cimber. And then they also, even early before that, they brought in Orlando Perez, who has helped. So where the bullpen was a mess for the first 2 months of the year, the worst in baseball, since they've added Brad Hand, especially to help the back end of the bullpen, the Indians have among a top 5 bullpen in all baseball, based on their run average. And that's not easy to do, to kind of keep recalibrating the team, because it's been a year where the Indians have not been real lucky. Right now, by the way, I'm glad to see my guy, Yandy Diaz, is back in the big leagues, getting a chance to play and hitting. But that happened because their $20 million man, Edwin Encarnacion, he's on the disabled list with a hand injury. So you kind of look at how this looks for the postseason. The other thing, if they can get some of these guys healthy, but a number of them not, they could really do something. But otherwise, nobody will look at the Indian season this year and say this is a year where everything went right, because a whole lot went wrong. And if they actually do win a round or two in the postseason, I think it's going to be pretty amazing given kind of all the different things that have happened this season.